Step into one of history's most compelling mysteries, the vanishing of Rome's legendary 9th Legion. 5,000 elite soldiers marched into Scotland's misty highlands and were never seen again. Today, we'll unravel this ancient puzzle that's fascinated historians for centuries. Before we dive into their mysterious disappearance, let's get to know the 9th Legion, or as the Romans called them, Legio IX Hispana. These weren't just any soldiers, they were one of Rome's most decorated fighting units. Founded by Julius Caesar himself around 65 BCE, they earned their stripes in some of Rome's toughest battles. The Hispana in their name? That came from their outstanding victories in Spain. Picture this: 5,000 highly trained warriors, masters of Roman military tactics, armed with the finest weapons and armor of their time. They fought alongside Caesar during his famous conquest of Gaul and played a crucial role in the Roman invasion of Britain in 43 CE. The 9th became so respected that they were chosen to help secure Rome's northernmost frontier, modern-day Britain. Let's trace the 9th Legion's final recorded steps in Britain. Around 108 CE, they were stationed at their fortress in York, modern-day Iberacum. Historical records and archaeological evidence show they were tasked with a crucial mission, pushing north into Caledonia, what we now call Scotland. The Romans faced fierce resistance from the local tribes, particularly the Picts, who were masters of guerrilla warfare. The legion marched north under Governor Quadratus Bassus, aiming to expand Roman control. They carried their famous bronze eagle standard, a symbol of Roman power and pride. Archaeological findings, including coins and pottery, mark their path through the Scottish lowlands. But after they pass the Forth River, things get murky. The trail of evidence starts to fade, like footprints disappearing in the highland mists. So why would Rome send one of its finest legions into such dangerous territory? The answer lies in Emperor Trajan's ambitious expansion plans. He wasn't content with just holding Britain. He wanted to conquer the entire island. The 9th Legion's mission was twofold: to establish Roman control over the rebellious northern tribes and to secure valuable resources like silver and lead from the Caledonian highlands. But they were walking into a perfect storm. The terrain was treacherous, with dense forests and steep valleys that were perfect for ambushes. The Pictish tribes knew every inch of this land and had already proved themselves fierce opponents of Roman rule. They were masters of hit-and-run tactics, striking from the shadows and melting away into the misty highlands. The 9th Legion, despite their superior training and equipment, were fighting on the Picts' home turf. The archaeological trail of the 9th Legion tells a fascinating yet incomplete story. We've uncovered tantalizing clues across northern Britain, from discarded armor pieces to scattered coins and broken pottery. At Vindolanda Fort near Hadrian's Wall, archaeologists found letters mentioning the legion's movements, but these abruptly stop around 108 CE. A particularly intriguing discovery was made at Royston in Scotland, a Roman sword bearing the legion's stamp, found alongside burned wooden fortifications. What's especially haunting is what we don't find. There's no mass grave, no battlefield debris field, no final fortress. It's as if the 5,000-strong legion simply vanished into the highland mists. Each excavation brings new questions. Was this sword dropped during a retreat? Did these burned fortifications mark their last stand? These scattered pieces paint a picture of a legion on the move, but their final chapter remains frustratingly out of reach. One of the most compelling theories about the 9th's fate centers on a devastating ambush by Celtic warriors. Picture this: the legion marching through narrow highland valleys shrouded in thick mist. The Picts, masters of their terrain, would have watched and waited for the perfect moment. Historical records tell us these Celtic warriors were experts at guerrilla warfare, using the landscape to their advantage. They likely split the legion into smaller groups, cutting off escape routes and communication lines. The Picts' weapons, including their feared chariots and long spears, were perfectly suited for hit-and-run attacks in the rough highland terrain. What makes this theory particularly convincing is how it explains the lack of a single mass grave. If the legion was split up and attacked in different locations, their remains would be scattered across the highlands, lost to time and the elements. Here's where our story takes an unexpected turn. While many believe the 9th Legion met a violent end in Scotland's misty Highlands, some historians suggest a completely different fate. There's compelling evidence that the Legion might have been reassigned to the Roman Empire's eastern frontiers. Records from the city of Nijmegen in the Netherlands show the 9th's presence there around 120 CE, and fragments of military documents hint at their later deployment to the east. Think about it. Rome was facing serious threats from the Parthian Empire during this period, and they needed experienced troops. The 9th's supposed disappearance coincides with major military reorganizations under Emperor Hadrian. Rather than a dramatic last stand in the Scottish Highlands, could these elite soldiers have simply been quietly transferred to fight another day in a different part of the empire? The loss of the 9th Legion sent shockwaves through the Roman Empire and completely transformed their approach to Britain. Emperor Hadrian responded by ordering the construction of his famous wall, a massive stone barrier stretching 73 miles across northern Britain. This wasn't just a building project, it was a strategic shift from expansion to defense. The Romans realized that sometimes the smartest move wasn't to conquer more territory, but to protect what you already had. The disappearance also changed how Rome deployed its forces in Britain. They started positioning multiple smaller units rather than large legions, making them less vulnerable to devastating losses. They also began recruiting more local troops who knew the terrain and could better handle the guerrilla tactics of the northern tribes. The story of the 9th Legion has captured imaginations for centuries, inspiring countless books, movies, and documentaries. From Rosemary Sutcliffe's classic novel, The Eagle of the Ninth, to recent films like Centurion and The Eagle, this mysterious disappearance has become a powerful symbol of Rome's limits. What makes this story so compelling is how it combines historical fact with tantalizing mystery, like a 2,000-year-old cold case that we're still trying to solve. The 9th Legion's fate has become a metaphor for the price of empire and the dangers of overreach. Even today, archaeologists continue searching for new clues, and each discovery adds another piece to this fascinating puzzle. Modern historians use everything from ground-penetrating radar to chemical analysis of ancient artifacts, proving that some mysteries never lose their ability to intrigue us. Recent archaeological discoveries have added fascinating new layers to the 9th Legion mystery. Advanced scanning technology has revealed previously unknown Roman military sites in Scotland, while isotope analysis of recovered artifacts tells us more about where these soldiers came from and traveled to. In 2019, researchers using LiDAR scanning discovered a series of temporary Roman camps hidden beneath Scottish farmland, possibly marking the 9th's final march. DNA analysis of skeletal remains found near these sites shows a mix of Mediterranean and Northern European ancestry, matching what we'd expect from a Roman legion. Perhaps most intriguing is a recently unearthed writing tablet from Vindolanda that mentions a catastrophic loss. Though frustratingly, the crucial details are damaged. These modern scientific methods are slowly piecing together the puzzle, giving us new insights into this ancient mystery. Let's clear up some common misconceptions about the 9th Legion that have taken root in popular culture. First off, the idea that the entire legion was wiped out in a single battle. Historical evidence suggests that's unlikely. Roman legions rarely traveled as one massive unit. They typically split into smaller, more manageable groups. Another myth is that they were somehow inferior soldiers who met their fate due to poor training. In reality, the 9th was one of Rome's most experienced legions. We also need to address the notion that they were completely obliterated without a trace. Archaeological evidence shows their presence in other parts of the empire after their supposed destruction in Britain. And that famous eagle standard everyone talks about? While it makes for great storytelling, we have no concrete evidence it was ever captured by Celtic warriors. The truth, as often happens in history, is probably more complex than the legends suggest. Thanks for joining me on this journey through one of history's greatest mysteries. The 9th Legion's fate reminds us that some questions may never be fully answered. If you enjoyed unraveling this ancient puzzle, hit like, subscribe, and share this video with fellow history enthusiasts.